One of the questions I get asked most often is how to know when it's time to say goodbye. So I thought I would do a video talking about how I make that decision. Most of my dogs and cats have dealt with kidney disease and they died from it. So the way I decided in those cases was it came down to a bad blood test. We obviously we monitor them, go for regular blood tests, and I watch them like a hawk, of course. And it ends the same way. They eat less and less because they're so nauseous. And then when I get the results of that final blood test and they're really not eating and the blood tests are not good, I let them go then and there. One time I didn't. I made an appointment for the next day because I needed to think. But that's how I make the decision because the blood test is bad and I don't want them to suffer. And you know what? They're not comfortable. They're nauseous. So there's no benefit to them. Obviously, you want them for as long as possible, but it's not about me. In other cases where it's been less clear cut, where it's about quality of life, that's definitely more challenging. For example, I had a dog that was deaf and mostly blind when I rescued her. And then not long after, she lost that final little bit of sight and she cried for like a week. It was terrible. Then she was diagnosed with diabetes, and that would have required regular shots and blood tests to monitor. And she was so stressed and so unhappy. I never could have put her through that. So the right decision for Josephine was to let her go. That that weighed on me. All my other decisions, I mean, of course, I'm on the floor sobbing hysterically, and of course, it takes a long time to get over the loss. But I never questioned myself in any of those with any of my other animals. I questioned myself a lot with Josephine because I didn't have a great vet at the time, unfortunately. I had been through 9 of them when I first moved to, we won't mention the state. He was very nice, but I don't think he was very helpful in that decision, to be honest. I made the right decision for sure. I never regretted that, but it it was a very, very difficult. It sat with me for a long time because I felt like I waited too long, and that is not something you ever want to feel. She wasn't in any pain, but she was anxious and she wasn't that happy. And I think if I had let her go 3 weeks before, it would not have been too soon. So that's what I do. Oh, sorry, I'm going to add one more thing. Even before it's not like I wait too long and wait for a bad blood test. Obviously, I'm monitoring them all the time. I know my dogs very, very well. I know when they're comfortable and if they're happy and how their quality of life is. But I also, throughout the process, as you feel like, you know, coming towards the end, not necessarily like next month, but we're getting there. I do this quite often. I think to myself, if I were her or this dog, is this the life that I would want? And I'm able to do that, thankfully. I'm also able to, even if it's for a moment, separate myself and say, yes, I know that hell is coming. I know it, but it's never, ever about me. It's about my dog. And I'm able to do that. It's not easy, and I know it's very difficult for so many people to do it because they only focus on how life is going to be without the dog. And I get it. You walk into an empty house, it's not fun. But again, that's what I do. I separate myself and I say, it's not about me. It has nothing to do with me and everything to do about them. And these are the ways that I'm able to make that decision. And I also have a fantastic vet who's very good at me among every other patient he has, who says, what would you do? And I'm grateful that I have someone like that. So you need a vet like that because you're going to work closely with them in helping you make that decision. And if you feel like they're kind of encouraging you to try every single thing possible, even though you know in your gut it's time to let them go, find someone else. Or if you find someone if you have a vet that's not supportive of you or isn't ready to listen or just has a really bad attitude about old dogs, run and find someone who will be there to support you, because that help is invaluable. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If are you in that stage where you're about to make a decision? What have you been thinking about? Have you used any like quality of life indicators or any other measures like that to help you? Or, yeah, anything you want to share will definitely help others in such a tough and emotionally charged situation. So leave your tips or ask your questions in the comment section below. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.